Been knocked down my whole life, but damn it, I guard up. Let's get y'all guard up today. We're going to introduce the new series on spiritual physics and blow some cookies. Now, you should be asking the $1 billion question, Doc, what the beep this has to do with me? Well, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you want to slice it and dice it, you are a dumbed-down version of a higher frequency. Spiritual physics is a term that will be getting more love in the future. We're looking at the physics of spirit. Now, excuse me, I like physics. I also like spirit. I also like science. I also like cosmology, theology, biology. I'm fascinated at how your brain does not work. I'm also fascinated at how your brain does work. Mine too. The thing that blows me away really is the metaphysics of grammar, the power of stimulants, or the power of your vocare, your voice, your vocare, your voice, your choice. The shit is mind-blowing. We are all speaking to manipulate matter. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, your church, your reverend, your doctor, your bishop, your past got you scared of your ass. And your cash is literally in your ass. Don't tell nobody I told you. That's physics. Now, the only reason that I do these series is I look at what is the mind metaphysics that is limiting our true voice, our true expression. So when I think about you, me, I'm thinking about what is limiting our true expression of our true selves. The same thing keeps coming up, religion. But religion is what? Religion is fear. Every time I hear a religion, I would listen to a guy on TikTok who was talking about, you know, the things that make up the spirit realm. And there's all these things that we need protection from. I even think about Jesus and the Bible. The whole Bible, everything is written to what? Think about when you read the Bible, it's a lot of things that you can't and shouldn't do. Very seldomly, when I went to church, was a message about my power, my options, my ability to whoop ass. It was always about Satan, the devil, lust, fear, doubt, envy, strife, jealousy, all the bad shit that was more powerful than the good shit. I mean, that's just my perspective. And when I think about people's frequencies, waves, and vibrations, when I'm thinking about people's voice, your voice controls your choice. And if you can wrap your brain around the fact that your voice is based upon your choice, that's spiritual metaphysics, spiritual physics. But we got to break it down because everything that's happening on this earth is spiritual physics. Everything that's coming out now is spiritual physics. Like this, we got to go deeper. This may be, I think we could do it just like the series that we're doing right now. This is really just an extension of the I Am series. The I Am series is just an extension of the Serpentine series. So every series that we are doing, it literally is an extension of the previous series. It also taps into and ties into the bioplasmic management and manifestation series that's based upon scientific prayer, or the gateway to God, or the gateway of God, which means focus on feeling the field. Now, we did that series a while back. When did we do that? Man, that was back in the early part of this year, or part of last year. It was a 5-hour series, and that one is still free. It's out there on the internet. You can Google it, or you should just text me, and I'll send it to you if you would like to get that 5-hour series as we broke down the measurement of the focusing on controlling the field, which gets into thought management and the building thought, which is spirit. The thing that blows me away is how little we know about biology. And it's not our fault, because biology is little building blocks that when you put them together, they make another block. Like H, and then you got 2, and then you got O. Those are just components. But what are those components? So whenever you are seeing or feeling, it affects your chi. So that's physics. So physics is the science of power of narrative. The narrative, as we broke down last night, is the thing that allows you to narrow your feelings. That's the power of scientific prayer. The ability for you to know the end before you begin. That's the law of understanding, informing, information, inspiration, implementation, transformation, manifestation. So anytime there's a feeling, for example, I was talking to a client, and one of the things that we were talking about was that, okay, there is a lack of intonation in your voice. So, for example, if you're talking and you're talking to me, you got to talk to me like you just won the lottery. How come? I'm going to go to sleep. Why? You're boring. I mean, not you personally, but, you know. So when I go to church, what happens? I can fall asleep. How come? Preacher's boring as bum. That's why I don't go to church. Now, if I was a preacher, I would go to my church. I'd be thinking about it, but generally I'd be like, shit, I might as well just start a church. I can get paid and help people evolve. Now, I would not be liked by other preachers. That's for damn sure, for sure, because I would be telling people the truth, not King James Version. Preachers, now, the Bible, I got to keep you coming back, just like medicine. You know, everything on this earth, you got to go pay a deity or pay somebody. Even with the stuff that I share. But everything I'm sharing is free already. Now, the information is free. I'm charging for the implementation because I got to go deeper and break down the interpretation, because your energy is low when there's a lack of interpretation, because interpretation determines the level of implementation. Oh, snap. Let me say it again for the people in the back. The level of your interpretation. No interpretation, no implementation. So when a preacher says, turn with me to John chapter 1, verse 1. Today we'll be reading from the Word of God. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word was God. The Word became flesh, and it started to walk around, made its dwelling place among men. And then the preacher goes on to elaborate on his interpretation. And got shit to do with you. It's his. What's yours? Oh, you ain't got one. You are subject to the reverend, the doctor, or the bishop. That's the system that we're in. Remember, we examine programs. We tear those programs down, and we construct a new program. That's what you should be doing. Because the Bible says that you're supposed to bring every thought into captivity of God. See, we have this power. So we got the ability to tread upon snakes and scorpions and our power of the enemy. We're supposed to bring every thought into captivity and see if it is of God. So we got the power of pulling down strongholds and anything that would try to stand against the power of God. Unfortunately, God is external because we all went to Ebenezer Baptist and they told us God is up a giant somewhere. So we don't have the unified feeling. That's why you got no chi. So anytime if I'm talking to you and your energy level and your voice, that means that there's no tone in your voice. There's no intonation. Now in the ancient text it's called VOX. Where we get the word VOCARE, and we get the word VOICE, which is just another word for choice. So if you got low T, that means you made a choice. What choice did you make? You gave away your power. How did you give away your power? Do you remember we talked about spiritual complexity yesterday, or the day before yesterday? You're not complex. So remember, if you're not complex, you will be vexed. So how do we become complex? Well, number one, definition. Number two, script. Number three, analyzation. We broke that down yesterday, remember? So say that again in English, Doc. Okay, intuition. Everybody got that. Everybody has an intuition. Whether you listen to it or not, another study for another time. Then everybody got gnosis. God gives you gnosis, especially if you're an 11. If you're an 11, that simply means that you got a direct line. See, if I call God, I got to go through one of the angels. If you're an 11 too, you are the angel. You're the angle. You got a direct pipeline directly. You can call, yo, God, what's up, dog? Yeah, man. I was wondering if we could let's go and manifest that that $1,000 today. Yeah, how you gonna drop that down for me? Then God will send you a step-by-step program, and you're gonna get this IDEA. You're gonna get an EI ID card that tells you to go over here. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Go log on to Facebook, make a post, put a link in there that then sends them to your book, your product, your service, or your information. I didn't say shit about you having one. If I was, you know what I would do if I had to start over? If I was broke right now and I didn't have a dime, you know what I would do? I would go and I would Google top 10 searches. I'll go to ChatGPT, top 10 searches on the internet. And then whatever the top 10 searches on the internet is, I would post a book and a series. I would go to, if you don't want to do like free shit like me, then I would just go to, remember I tell you guys the website that I use to make my thumbnails for my YouTube videos and every book cover. Now I got this fancy, program called Scribble, Scribble, and it's a ebook creator. But it's a lot of steps you got to jump through, blah 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 blah. But it's good though. I mean, it makes it look like an ebook. But I like speed better than I like professionalism. None of my websites are professional. And my books are professional. I don't have an editor. I don't have a publicist. Why? Speed. So by the time everybody else gets in the game, I got in the game, I got my money, and I left. Everything I talk about is cutting edge. And the diamond, I remember all of the big corporations, they got to have a meeting. They got to get with the CEO. They got to get with the department head. They got to come up with a plan. Shit, I'm in and out already. It's called guerrilla marketing. The one thing I learned about Marine Corps that I love, which I patterned my whole life around this philosophy that they used in Vietnam. And in the Marines, we have fire teams. We don't have squads. We have them, but it's like the Navy SEALs. The Navy SEALs got their shit from the Marines, or the Marines got their shit from the Navy SEALs, because the Marine Corps really is a division of the Navy. Another study for another time. What do you mean? Well, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go really far, go in a group. Okay, I like to go fast. How come? I get in and out. So Marines, we have a 5-man team. You can drop 5 men in the Marine and we'll take out at least 5,000. With 5 people. But we're fucking effective. So while everybody else is planning and strategizing, Marines, they just drop your ass off behind enemy lines. So unless you kill the enemy, you don't get home. So it's real simple. Behind enemy. So wherever the fight is at, they're going to drop your ass in the ocean or out of the sky somewhere, fucking 6 miles up in the air. You're going to parachute in, right in the middle of the enemy's camp. When you die or do. Marine Corps, we call it do or die. That's what simplify means. Simplify that is always faithful. So the look at the mindset, though. The mindset. The mind, totally different than all the other armed services. So the mindset is do or die. That means figure the fuck out. I like that. Because then there's no reverend, there's no doctor, and there's no bishop. You, it's all on you. Notice the mindset. Now, religion says, it's not on you, it's on Jesus. So if Jesus decides, it ain't for you, Osama. We don't like Negroes with a name that starts with an O. So sorry. So that means you ain't got no option, but Osama, you stuck like Chuck. So spiritual physics means you have the building blocks to build your reality with your mentality. That's physics. That's why I love biology. Because biology is coding. Same thing as coding for a computer. So this shit is spiritual coding. I'm a spiritual code writer. Now, I wrote many books in that you can Google spiritual coding, Master Teacher 33, and read and watch some of my old shit that I've already done already. Now, remember the series on how to manage focus, feelings, and field. It's free. It's 5 hours. Just Google bioplasmic manifestation, Master Teacher 33, or just go to my Payloads account, product number 394, and just download it. Free. No charge. So you can, now remember, that's kind of like the intro to the intro. Because when you understand physics, you're going to be really pissed off. Every preacher I know, even when they're trying to do the right thing, they're doing the wrong thing. The process of talking about God implies the anti-God or the devil. Just if you talk about God, God exists because what? What does God, well, why do you need God? Now we're going to see. Remember, this is complex thinking. But it's not complex. It's only complex because Negroes don't do it. So loneliness, you don't have to be lonely, because what if everybody thought like God? Think, what if everybody was all-knowing, all-power, all-present, all simple, all love? Look at what if everybody on the planet all oscillated and vibrated on the same frequencies, waves, and vibrations? That means my perspective and my perception is just like yours. So that means I'm not going to perceive. I'm not going to wake up and think that all black people listen to rap. My perception, even though I may or may not have the experience or the experience, my intuition tells me there got to be a black man somewhere that like country. I just haven't met him, her, or yet. There is a black man somewhere walking around now that likes jazz. There's some black people that listen to heavy metal. It's just crazy, right? There's some white people, too. All white people don't listen to country music. Shit's crazy. When I was a kid, I thought all white people, all just in the country and Western. I thought there was no such thing as a Eminem. But a white man going to be singing are going to be rapping. That's what I thought. Until that got some experience. That channeled and opened up. That's physics. Physics is gathering particles to build a broader perspective. But that's evil. Because physics, as we would prove, is what they're doing over at Project CERN. Now, Project CERN is interesting. Project CERN, where Project CERN is located at, that area of Switzerland is called Apollonic something. The dance of Shiva, that statue out in front of it, is in honor and reverence to Apollyon. What they're doing over there at Project CERN is trying to recreate the Big Bang, which is, again, in reference to or in honor of or giving homage to Apollyon. COVID-19 means Apollyon. Corona radiator means Apollyon. Abaddon, as some people call it. It's the opening of the bottomless pit to let these fools back in. So everything on this planet they're trying to pierce the veil. There is a protective veil around Earth that protects and limits. The darkness can't get in. Remember, anytime light shows up, darkness can exist with light. So they're trying to pour this black goo. That's what artificial intelligence is. Everything on this planet is trying to get the things that are banished from this planet back over to this planet. That's particle physics. Now, your doctor and your bishops got you all scared up. Because particle physics is also demons and devils and ghouls and goblins and ghosts and sprites and apparitions, and that's the spooky shit, Doc. Why do you think they call quantum physics spooky science? Because all quantum physicists, when they go down into an atom, they see some spooky shit. And they get scared because they don't know nothing about religion. They just got science. Now, see, I know science and religion. So you can't punk me, bro. Shit don't work over chump. Can't gaslight me, man. So I ain't scarred. I know particles are under my control. Unless I give up my control with fear. See, this unknown energy that controls and limits your ability to be you, these are sub atomic particles. These are spooky size. This is quanta. This is quanta. This is qubit. We just finished the series. So we got to go further down the rabbit trail to reveal, explain, illuminate, and simplify. Why? Because you still have feelings. What feelings I got, Doc? Well, creating consciousness is really the science of spiritual psychology. Now, spiritual psychology is like spiritual physics. It's how communication works. Ooh-wee. This ain't no New Believer show. See, when you think about the spirit, now remember, spirit is a ruling disposition. That's really all the spirit is. Now, y'all really got you scared up, though. Because you're like, Doc, I'm not studying that shit. How come? It's evil, brother. There's freaking devils out there, dog. There are Christians I know that are afraid. Even though the Bible says God has not given us a spirit of fear. So I tell all my Christians when they pray, what the fuck you praying for? If you all knowing, you should know what's out there. You don't know. How come? You ain't studied. How come the Bible says study to show yourself approved? So spiritual psychology means you got feelings. So anytime somebody has low T or low E, I know that they're not creating consciousness. They're not conscious. What does that mean, though? not being conscious, Doc. You ever seen celebrities? Celebrities are celebrities. How is a celebrity a celebrity? How can they be a celebrity? They are what? Star. So celebrities have an antenna. Now, we have an antenna, a spiritual antenna. Celebrities, they learned, knowingly or unknowingly, how to activate the satellite. Sat-E light. Now, satellite literally means attendant. If you look it up in ancient text, blah, 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 it means an attendant. Satellite means an attendant within the body. So the word satellite means lunar soul elemental. So it's like a moon. Look at the word demon. But it's the moon, D-E-M-O-O-N. We spell it D-E-M-O-N. So celebrities, they tap into the D-moon. So the moon is a satellite. That's why it moves around the earth. It's called the Earth's natural satellite. Why? Well, it provides control. But the D-moon gets his following from Saturn. Sat, because it's a satellite. Tune, T-O-N-E. On the Saturn or Saturn, you got to walk around Mecca or Macabre. That's the cube. That's the cross that we was talking about in the previous show. Everybody's under the same spell. So if you have low energy, some frequency wave of vibration is siphoning your energy because you're not communicating with source. You're communicating with a D-moon in this dimension. So demons control this dimension. So my job and your job is for you to understand how to create what they call a tupa. This is psychomancy or tulpamancy. Now, those are all those words. Their words. It's really, what is it? It's a thought. It's T-H-O-T-H. Thoughts. So a thought is a thought. These are thought form beings. So thoughts create form that turns into beings. That's you. So spiritual physics is a study of you. That's why it's demonized. So you can be scared to study you. Now you're afraid to go look in the mirror. I mean, not you personally, but you know. So the dominant culture, they know how to dominate. That's why they're the dominant culture. They use the guard of destruction. That's why they got generate, operate, and destruction. I got generate, operate, and direct. So I'm not worshiping Vishnu or Shiva or Brahma. All them mother beasts, they're just lower frequencies, waves, and vibrations that keep you trapped in this moon or this dimension. Earth is a prison planet for high vibrational light beings. I got to keep you down. Chill. I need your cheek. So that's black magic. This is the devil's sorcery. If you want to use the term devil, because even that's low vibrational frequency. So what do, Doc? Well, you got to over, and understand that evil is nothing but a imbalance between the light and the dark, positive and negative, up and down, left, right, happy, sad, fat, skinny. So it's an imbalance in the L. So L represents God. That's why the Elohim. we have to become L. That simply means you got to activate the nine-ether. You got to become a nine-ether being, which that's the highest of all the supreme mathematics. You got to become supreme. You can't worship the supreme. I mean, you can. I don't recommend it, but I recommend that you become the supreme. Because out of your belly flows rivers of living water, unlimited. But where's it coming from? Out of your belly, not T.D. Jakes. Can't even come from my belly. It got to come from your belly. Because your job is to activate. Now, each and every person on this call, you have been given everything that you need for life and godliness. It's inside of your spiritual antenna. It's inside of your DNA. But they want to activate your nervous system to keep you in a state of fear. Nervous. ERVUS. So ERV is a Gaelic term, Gaelic, Gaelic, meaning ERV means high cliff. ERV. So ERV is also the name of one of the fallen frequencies. It's an angel or an angle or an ingo, like Inglewood, except E-N-G-L-E. Ingo. It means Highlander. It means the Isle of Man. We get the word Irish. Now, probably going a little bit too far down the rabbit trail, but I can keep going with the etymology of the nerve. The nerve system. You are supposed to control your own nerves with your own verbs. So there are levels of control programs that keep you trapped in a low frequency, so you have no vocare. You have no voice. So when you talk, you don't sound. You don't submit, because remember, sound is the creative power of the universe, the you and I verse. So you and I have to use the same verse for us to hang out. So loneliness is the price that I'm paying for complexity of mind. Complexity of mind means that I'm aware that I am. And tonight we're going to be breaking down a little bit further as we get into understanding I am light in matter. I am light stuck in mass and matter. So I can only get out when I do what matters. Matter means matter. So matter means you must be an SME, subject matter expert. So if you're on Facebook right now and the subject doesn't matter, you got low chi. So when I talk to somebody and they say, well, hey man, how's it going? Well, praise God, I'm trying to, working on my dream, brother. And, I'm just believing God for a miracle. Hallelujah. I'm just, another day in office, brother. Low T. Low E. No testosterone, no estrogen. How come? You didn't win the lottery. I won the lottery when I woke up this morning. I was supposed to do the day show. I wanted to do it like at 11. But it's already, by the time I finish my 101, the couple of things I had to do this morning, I got maybe 3 of the 10 things I want to get done. Man, time flies. I'm out of time. So how do you get out of time? How do you get out of space when you are in eternity? So how do you get into eternity? So what is eternity? Eternity is the eternal now. When you create a role that activates your voice, you see, the voice determines the speed of your choice. And your choice determines the power in your voice. So when you only choose high vibrational shit, time doesn't exist. Because you are vibrating so high, you're outside of space, you're outside of time. Like, it's just crazy. Like, it's already 2:30 something. I've already been talking for 45 minutes. It seems like the show just started. I literally have to, snap out of it because I'll be so immersed in my desires fulfilled. I don't live, and it's really thanks to everybody else lives in reality. And I forget that, oh shit, that's right, I got kids. Got to check in with my kids. Hey, how y'all doing today? Well, how's everything going? Oh, Dad, this is, and I'm like, oh, okay, oh, wow, relationship problems, this problem, that, how, like, I'll tell you guys, the wife's, the Mercedes, my son parked in, they towed it. Mercedes has this anti-tow, anti-theft device. You just can't tow it to it. It has that, that hook that you have to plug into the bumper, and it deactivated. So in other words, the tow guy, when they towed the vehicle because he parked illegally, long story short, anyway, now the Mercedes is down. Then the wife's car is down. So I took that to the dealer, got a rental, and then we had 2 back-to-back, events. We got another event coming up. Got to take the daughter, bonus daughter back to college because now she gets to drop her off permanently. Last weekend was the orientation. And then my son is getting all of these college offers to play football. Like we supposed today, they want to go to Colorado. Hang out up there with Deion Sanders and his crew. But I was like, man, shit, we can't. So we got to go to San Marcos because San Marcos is right down the street. He can go to school down there. We just came back from Kingsville to Texas A&M. But he went out, did a little workout in front of the coaches. They, measured him, did the 40, all that stuff. It was a football camp. Now, he wasn't the only one. They invited a whole bunch of other kids there. So they recruited. It's part of the new recruiting process since COVID. And now that they got the transfer portal, which means the kid can, they're like the pros. Kid can play at one college 1 year, be the next college the next year. The next college, he can transfer anytime he wants now. And they got name, image, and likeness. The kid can make money now. They ain't got to work to go to the NFL. They can get paid today. So the whole landscape of college football has changed from when I played. So what does all of that mean? That's knowledge. What if I decide to be a parent and they're like, fuck it, I don't want to learn it? Well, I get left behind. So artificial intelligence is here now. That's spiritual physics. Spiritual physics is spiritual psychology. But it's also spiritual biology. So we've got to learn spiritual biology. We've also got to learn spiritual theology so you can talk like a Christian and not be one. If you use their words, but you got to your definitions. Because remember the 3 things that give you power to whoop ass. Number 1, you write your own fucking definitions. You don't use mine or nobody else's. This is your world. Everybody else is just living in it. You create your aura. The fact that you letting somebody else create your aura is the most dangerous thing you could do on earth. Why? Nobody loves you more than you do. Nobody. I don't care what they say. What they sell it. You got to write your own definitions. Number 2, you have to write your script based upon your design instead of your desires. I desire a lot of stuff. Now, I recommend using both. But you got to be careful with desires because they're not based in design. Most of your desires ain't got shit to do with your design. It's just like, I want a pizza today. Okay, eating pizza ain't got shit to do with your purpose. Yeah, I know, Doc, but it's okay. Nothing wrong with it because remember, there is no right and wrong. That's just what moves you forward. So it's just eating pizza every day. Will that move you towards your destiny? Probably not. So you can eat it, but maybe not every day. It requires discipline. But you got to know that. You got to know your script. Like we was talking about last night. Everybody on this call got to know. You can't wish, you can't hope, you can't ponder. Because what happens when you know your script? When I'm in my lane, I cannot come up lame. Because I am God on earth. Now, I'm trying to help you, man. Like for real. If you are in your lane, I swear to God, your cells vibrate. I can't even put it in the English language. Like your body it tingles. My body, when I do shows, like right now, my body literally tingles. My cells, it's like when I eat watermelon. When I eat real, organic watermelon with seeds in it, my cells, because remember, watermelon is nothing but hydrogen peroxide, really. It's just liquid oxygen. So death only happens when your cells can't breathe. So what happens if y'all know the breathing technique, the one breathing technique where you take it a deep breath and you hold it. And then when you want to take in another breath, you don't. It's called circular breathing. They taught us that in the military. So you can stay underwater for twice the amount of time that anybody else by doing circular breathing. What is it? That simply means you go underwater, but instead of Breathing in oxygen, you literally swallow, like you swallow when you're underwater. When you're above the water, you literally suck in more oxygen. When you need to breathe out, breathe in. You should try it. It's just crazy. Your body will start to tingle. Your brain, because you're getting oxygen into cells that never had got it before, in the deep capillaries, because oxygen can't get down there unless you are doing deep nostril breathing. That only can happen when you're doing like super cold brown fat activating not Wim Hof, or that shit where you go underneath. Yeah, Wim Hof, the cold dude. Jump your ass in some ice cold water. What happens? First thing you do is your lungs feel like they're gonna collapse. You go like same thing happens when somebody scares you. So that's how you're doing. So when you do that, it activates a whole other part of your body. So you can do cold water bath treatment, or you can just do where you literally just breathe in through your nose and then just hold your breath. And you hold your breath for like say 10 seconds or so. Then your body's like, hey, we need more oxygen. But instead of breathing out, breathe in again. And you notice that you can't really breathe in because your lungs is already full. So you you do it again. And then when you want to breathe, you feel like, oh, I got to breathe, pull in some more oxygen. Don't breathe out. Just keep breathing in as long as you can. Your whole brain will start to, because you're pushing oxygen deep into the body. That's spiritual physics. Nobody thinks about it. Nobody talks about it. So remember now, let's be crystal clear, because we can go through. I could talk for hours and hours and hours. Remember that song? I can go for hours and hours. Okay, let's take all that time. What are you saying, Doc? There's so many biological things that's what my boy David Sinclair is unleashing now with quantum physics and spirituality. There is a website, actually, it's called Institute of Spiritual Physics. Now, they get a lot into more of the warm and fuzzy stuff, but it's still a part of it. It's still a part of it because it's still a part of physics. But the problem is with Christians, remember, we're talking about Christian physics or Muslim physics. That's really what we talked about. I just use the word spirit because we're talking about a science that deals with how do you control matter and motion and energy and force with mind. So what is this? This is spiritual. This is a spiritual mathematical language. Because what we're dealing with is biological, theological, and cosmic systems. That's what a physicist does. He deals with the systems that control sub-microscopic organisms or organizations. This is the economy, money, of the soul. So topics like, quantum mechanics and thermodynamics and electromagnetism, all of this is the study of how these systems, nanotechnology works using spirit. Spirit is, I can manipulate matter. So spirit is, I am. That's what a spirit is. So spirit is what? It is a run up on me if you want to, I will put your ass to sleep. That's spirit. Because what does it mean? Spiritual physics is a made-up mind. It's the fact that you are inspired, you are influenced by your own potential and your own power. So your own potential and your own power is the center of source, because out of your belly flows rivers of living water. So how does that make you feel? Me? That makes me feel fucking fabulous. I'm talking twirling in the wind fabulous. How come? Shit, I got the solution to all my problems. So when I wake up in the morning, excuse me, If I have a money problem, I'm going to use my complexity of mind. I'm going to use critical thinking skills. And I'm going to say to myself, I need to redefine money. I have to find something that I already have and turn that into money. I got to bloom where I'm planted. I do this every day, y'all. And I sit and I say, okay, then what do I have? Past tense. Because the Bible says, to him that have, more shall be given. So I'm fucking violating universal mother law. Why would I do that? So I ain't doing it. I refuse, Brother Jesse, I refuse to violate universal spiritual law. Now, I let them other niggas go out there and talk about what they ain't got. Me and my family members, they don't even call me no more. My kids, they don't call me. I keep telling you guys, loneliness is the price of spiritual physics. Because spiritual physics means I am, as we will break down tonight. As we go, I think tonight was, and I think I said last night was 3, but last night was 2.5. So I sent that out to everybody. And so tonight we'll do 3.0. We'll do the, part 3. We snuck in some extra parts, but hey, y'all know how we do. Then we'll take a couple of days, let you guys wrap around that, and then we'll start this series. But what specifically are we going to be talking about? You cannot. You will not. Even like days when you are having a low vibrational day, you notice is that the enemy is trying to sell you. He's trying to get you to buy it. He's trying to get you to speak it because he needs you to manifest it. So you have to identify what makes you feel good about you. That's it. That's how you're functioning. What makes me feel good about me? That's physics. Physics is pattern recognition. You must become a pattern recognition specialist in yourself and in everybody else. When you notice people start, you listen to them, say, oh, unless you're getting paid. Now, when I do one-on-ones, everybody has a right to feel right because everybody is right. What you are feeling is real. That's the hard thing to get people to, especially new people that come to my shit and they be like, but that's not real. Or, especially the white, because remember, white people have white privilege. So when you're talking to a white person, you ain't figured this shit out yet, they stuck. They can't get past. If you do a white person wrong, they can't, they shut down. So they just keep repeating, but that's not right. Like, when I talk to my ex-wife, she keeps telling me what you did is not right. I mean, no shit. We live in a world where bad shit happens to good people, but not white people. They got privilege. Because it's psychological. Same way black people got the psychological effects of Willie Lynch. So we don't trust. That's why there's no community. Black people can't build no community. Who gonna run it? I ain't gonna trust you with my money. I mean, I like you, but shit, I don't know you like that. Now, white people give you all their money. They're gonna give money. We're gonna put John in charge of the Treasury Department. John, here's my check, brother. They trust because they don't have the psychology. That shit is not in their DNA. It ain't in their genes. They wasn't told, yeah, get on the boat, man, we're gonna go get some ice cream. Then they put some chains on your ass, and next thing you know, you're in another country picking cotton. That shit is not in their DNA, but it's in yours. You got to deal with that shit. You got to deal with that trauma, bro. It's buried and it's triggered. So when that devil comes up, You got to ask yourself the billion-dollar question, which is the third part and the most powerful part of a mental complexity, which is the wealth creation process. Analyzation before manifestation. If I'm talking right now and you feeling, you got to ask yourself, why am I dropping F-bombs and I don't like it? How come? You got a fucking belief. The F word is just a word. It ain't got no power unless you give it power. So I neutered it. I cut his balls off. The N word ain't got no power. You can call me the N word all you want. I neutered it too. I cut off his balls too. All I do is cut off balls every day. I take his power. I ain't giving you power over me, homie. I don't think so. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not ever. Why? Why would I give you power over me? Why would I put the keys to my happiness in your pocket? I like you. I mean, I think you're the bomb.com. However, shit, you human. And as a human, even though we're not humans, but a human means human. And we all are dumbed down light beings. But we really are solar flares. We just forgot that we are waves of light being expressed through genes. So until we get back to saying, hold up, I am that, fill in the blank, I am. When you get there, now you're ready for spiritual physics. Because now no particle formed against you can prosper. Now you're ready to open up a can. Because now everywhere you go, you will pick up the frequency. And you realize that I cannot change someone else's frequency against their will. Now, you can. That's called dark magic. That's called witchcraft. You can't do it. That's not get it wrong. That's what the church is trying to say. But the church throws out the baby with the bathwater. So spiritual physics is the understanding of how to build a spirit. That's demonic right there, brother. We're not messing with no spirits. What the fuck you think you are? That's the craziest thing. Christians are afraid to be themselves. So it's like, I got a car, but I'm going to take the keys because I'm afraid to drive it. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to sit in the passenger seat. I'm going to let you drive my car. Get the experience, get the gas pedal, the brakes, I'm just going to be a passenger because I'm afraid. That's why I don't like religion. I don't like religion because it doesn't provide faith. It only provides fear. Because at the end of the day, the whole fact that I'm going to give you this, because I'm telling you what to avoid. So, fuck it, I ain't avoiding nothing. Because whoever shows up, I'm going to whoop his ass. That's what they taught me in the Marine Corps. We don't study the enemy. Fuck the enemy. We don't care who the enemy is. That's why I like Alabama football. Nick Saban does not coach against the other team. He coached space mastery. Same shit I do. So I'm going to be the best in my space. So whoever comes into my space is going to get whooped. Period. With that disposition now, what if I go outside of my space? So I'm an SME. I'm a subject matter expert. So I'm an expert in the subject that matters. So I got one job, spiritual physics. What subject matters to me? Oh, snap. Most Negroes can't answer that question. How come? They ain't got no subject that matters to them. How come? They don't know them. They don't know themselves. Remember, this is what sixes do. Sixes, we are experts. We are lovers of detail. That's why out of all the numbers, because I've tried them all. I've had jobs that I was in charge, I was a leader. Fuck that. People don't listen. Then I was, jobs where I was dispute resolution specialist. I remember working at USA, I was senior billing specialist. So when everybody calls and says, fuck you, I want to refund my money, I'm going to cancel my insurance policy, they would transfer them calls to me. And they would be going cursing. I say, excuse me, sir, ma'am, are you upset? You angry? You fucking double billed me, man. I want my money. Get your supervisor on the line. I'm the fucking supervisor. It stops here with my decision. I have the power to do credit card reversals instantly. So I just made sure that, man, I said, you're angry, you're upset. You said you were going to do this, blah, 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 blah. I just said the person's fault. Why? They just get it out. They need to be heard. Everybody want to be heard. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to give you money back, and I'm going to extend your policy for 6 months. No payment, nothing. You got free insurance. And then it's just silence because they still arguing. Yeah, but you, hold on, what did you say? Yeah, I just check your bank account. The money's in your account right now, instant. Only seniors. That's why if you're having a problem, only talk to a senior billing specialist. Call AT&T. Can I get a senior billing specialist on the line? They can't transfer to a senior until they exhaust all options. They say, yeah, well, you know what? Is there anything I can do for you? You know, before I transfer you, let me make sure. Thank you. Appreciate your help, Johnny. Johnny. You did a great job, Johnny. In fact, tell your supervisor after the call, I want to give you, you should do this. Remember, I did this for a long time. Because that's how they get their raises, by the way. I want to tell your supervisor what a wonderful job you did today, Johnny. Because Johnny's going to be like, what the fuck? I ain't do nothing. And you should do it. After the call's over, supervisor come on the line, yeah, tell me about your customer experience. Man, Johnny came on the line. Johnny did this. Johnny did that. Johnny is an asset to your company. You should give Johnny a raise. Johnny didn't do nothing but transfer me after I asked him to transfer me. Because Johnny is a gatekeeper. Johnny is not a decision maker. I already know Johnny can. Johnny is told he can make decisions. But Johnny got his nuts cut off and put in the jar. Somebody else can make the decision. I need to talk to the decision maker. That's you in your life. You think the preacher is the decision maker. Everybody on this call cannot have an issue unless you ain't making a decision. You dependent upon somebody else to make the decision for you. All I did was I took the keys in my pocket, put it back in my pocket. I got my balls out of the jar. I screwed them suckers back on. They fucking worked. So now, I'm the captain now. The moment you become the captain of your ship, the moment that you start to be the god of your destiny, your whole life changes now. Now, if it is to be, it's up to me. Now, when you look in the mirror, you're looking at God. When you look in the mirror, you're looking at the devil. You get to choose. Do I want to be the devil today? Now, I like me, so I'm not going to punk me. I like being happy, so I'm not going to do nothing to fuck up my happiness. I don't care who want me to destroy my peaceful abode. I ain't doing it. You should do the same thing. You should put yourself in this is physics. But we got to break down how. Remember, this is just the knowledge is free. Shit, you can Google this. You can get this from anywhere. But what's the step-by-step process by which to build happening? Happiness means happening. If you are not happy, that's because ain't shit happening. People that ain't making shit happen, they ain't happy. Well, I know, like my neighbors, they sit there like, oh yeah, we was talking to them yesterday. They both retired military. They bored as fuck, and they young. They're like in their 40s. That's young for me. And I see the lady. It's just a matter of time. I thought very seriously that they'd be married after 6 months. Why? An idle mind is a devil's workshop. They have no purpose. I see the husband sitting out there. He go out there play with the little kid, and he's just standing there. You can see his eyes just glazed over. He don't know what the fuck to do. And I'm thinking like, damn. Both of these fools don't have a clue. That means that they retire. They get a check from the Uncle Sam for the rest of their life. So their bills are taken care of. That means that they can fucking come up and build. There's no stress. They can create, but they don't know how to think. Because when you're in the military, they say, charge that hill, motherfucker. You say, yes, sir. If you don't, they're going to take a strike. Put your ass in the brig. So these suckers don't know how to think. I can look at them and tell they dumb as fuck. Because somebody been thinking for them for 23 years. Now they got to think, and then like, they sitting in the backyard looking at me. What you looking at me for? I mean, I know why they looking at me. They know I got the answer. So after they see me, I'm busy. I'm they're just watching like, what the fuck is he doing? I got the shit to do. I ain't sitting in the backyard just looking, staring up at the ceiling. They in the backyard. Every time I go in the backyard, what's up? So I had to ask them, what y'all do, man? So we retired Air Force. Like, both of y'all? Yeah, my husband retired, I'm retired. So we're just relaxing. Where they do that at? They have no subject that matters to them. It was not allowed to pick one. If you have no voice, that means somebody took it from you. When you was a child, your mother and your father took it. Your mother and your daddy, like I did to my kids, because they thought they was doing the right thing. Same thing I did. When the little Johnny started expressing, hey, Johnny, get your ass off the TV, bro. Not knowing little Johnny's going to be a fucking rock climber, and he ain't had no rock climbing material in the house. So little Johnny, he climbing on the TV. So you go over there and throat punch little Johnny like I did. Get your ass off the TV. Boy, you crazy? Next thing you know, little Johnny's in the bedroom climbing up on fucking dressers and stuff. I know, because I got little Johnny. BJ, that fool was a little daredevil. I caught his ass on one of the neighbor's house jumping off the roof. I must have beat that fool to the inch of his life. Not knowing I was neutering him. So now, you don't know what the fuck to do. So I said, BJ, go back to doing daredevil shit like you used to do when you was 5. So now in the military doing daredevil shit. He love it. You got to be very careful of how you correct your children. Now, I ain't saying you got to do like the little badass kids that you see at Walmart every day. Walk around, tearing shit up, pulling candy off the wall, and Johnny, come over here to stay next to me, little Johnny. Little Johnny's ass going to be in the back of a milk carton somewhere because he don't fucking listen. I ain't talking about that either. You need balance. You can't just let little Johnny just run around because he's a free spirit. So when his ass out in the car in the parking lot, someone get ran over. So what is the point? The point is spiritual physics is you getting the building blocks of thought and putting them together to create your system, which is totally different from mine because you don't think like me. I don't think like you. So where do we start? This is just an introduction as we go through laying the foundation for the next series. And we'll do this, we'll make this real affordable for everybody. We'll do this like, I know, y'all think money is an issue, even though it's not. That shit's just in your head. But I get it, until you get that out of your head, you think that, Doc charging money, I don't got the money to take the class. So we do this class, what do we do? We do like $49 for the book, and, we'll do the same thing, about 3 or 4 hour series. We start with understanding classical mechanics. That is, for every action, there's a reaction. There are different branches of classical physics. We'll use their term. Remember, classical is just another word for celestial. So celestial mechanics is what they call force. May the force be with you. Thought that's in the have state is the most powerful force that can act upon any body, whether it be solid, whether it be liquid, whether it be gas, whether it be ether. I think I'm leaving one out. Solid, liquid, gas. Which one I'm leaving? Oh, ether. Oh, and then air, because air and ether is 2 different things. Ether is the power in the air. We're going to break all that down, too. This gets into what's called phonics, or phonon and then photon. electrical magnetism, thermodynamics. Simply means that a force that is applied creates force. That's why as long as you have force, you have what we call motion. That's the laws of motion. We call that movement. So physics is how to move matter. It's the fundamental process or the fundamental mental disposition for us that allows us to interact with entities of energy and force. You know, I took that right out of the definition of physics. So particle, earthly, people that don't believe in God, they are relating to an entity. They say entity. I didn't use the word entity. That's their word. So when I was studying and writing a book on the series that we just did on, basically on qubit science, quantum physics, especially how they create a quantum environment that is super cold. Remember that refrigerating process, that dilute refrigerator that I talked about? Why do they do that? They do that to create an environment for the entity to live. You got to create an environment for your entity to live. You got to create a mental environment for the entity of money to live. Otherwise, he ain't coming or she ain't coming. Now, your preacher in your church will tell you structured thought is the devil, brother. While they are structuring their thought to tell you that thought. All I do is understand how to structure thought. Thought is a force that can influence an object to make it accelerate or de-accelerate. You have that power. So you can say, Doc, you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, brother. Here's, $5,000. That act accelerates. I get happy. You could also say, Doc, taking my money, my time, my energy elsewhere. Fuck you. I don't like you. That thought expressed could accelerate my energy. I said, oh, damn, what did I do, man? What happened, man? What's going on? What did I say? So my job is to be aware of the acceleration and the deceleration process that's being used in the world today. That's physics. But your reverend, your doctor, and your bishop say be afraid of that. Don't study how the devil is whooping your ass. Just let him whoop it. Me, I'm from a different school of thought. I'm not going to let the devil just whoop my ass every day. After repeated failure, I'm going to try something different. I don't know where y'all from. That's how we do it over here in Texas. Well, that's how I do it. So after repeated failure, I'm not going to keep repeating the same thing. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you keep telling them, hey, I don't like when you do blank, and they say, fuck you, I'm going to do blank anyway, you should get your ass out of that relationship and find somebody who respects you enough to honor your request, as long as it's reasonable. Same thing on your job. Same thing if I got a vehicle or something that doesn't start. Because when I need it to start, I go out there and I'm like praying, please start. Okay, what am I going to do? I ain't going to keep paying for it. I'm going to take it back and say, hey, bro, you fix it, I'm going to keep paying for it. If you don't fix it, you can keep it. But that's going to be a repo on your credit. Okay. I've done that many times. Now, I don't recommend you guys do it. I'm going to try to get it fixed. I'm going to try this, that. If it doesn't work, what I'm going to do? I ain't paying for it. Yeah, but you signed a contract. Fuck the contract. You said the shit was working. So I'm cut from a different cloth. Means I only do things that move me in the direction of the goal that I want to manifest. Did you see how many times I said the word I in that statement? Most people, they don't do that. Even Jesus said, I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. Nobody goes to the Father that they go through me. Jesus was selfish too. That's where y'all think I got it from. Everything I do, I got from Jesus. I just got different Jesus. The Jesus I got He was an arrogant, cocky prick like me. He walked around and he did some shit that other people like. He was running that turn over the money changers table. He went in the labs. They say, man, Lazarus is dead, dog. I'm sorry, you're too late. He said, man, all you fools get the fuck out. Did you read the story? Jesus told everybody, get out. He went in there, Lazarus, get your ass up, dog. We got shit to do, bro. You can take a nap when you die. It ain't your time yet. Which I'll do the same thing. Man, you go in there and somebody's, again, this is just, hypothetical, right? I don't want to bust nobody's bubbles. What's the point of the story, Doc? Stop talking in circles, brother. That is spiritual physics. Spiritual physics simply means that I'm going to I'm going to find the building blocks needed to manifest the destiny that I want to maintain. Me, myself, and I. Now, I ain't trying to fondle no little boys. I ain't trying to sleep with no 14-year-old girls. I ain't trying to rob no banks. I'm not trying to take your stuff. Bruh, I'm going to generate, operate, direct my own. That's spiritual physics. Spiritual physics is just self-elevation and manifestation. So my brothers and sisters, I love you. We're going to break down part 2 tonight. We're going to get into the 111, 2, 2, 3. I have to get into a little bit of the science behind these angel numbers as we wrap up the current series and introduce the next one. See you guys on tonight. God bless.